For the past week, we've been talking about the new 21 Pilot album that's not even out yet. We have been eagerly waiting for this album, really since Clancy came out in 2021. We've been wanting that album also. The final album of the Dema storyline. This fire got fueled even more when Paul Meany, frequent collaborator with 21 Pilots, one of their main producers, the guy who helped produce Trench, Level of Concern, Saturday, Redecorate, MTV Unplugged, the live stream experience, as well as Takeover Tour, posted images on his Instagram of hanging out with Tyler and Josh, indeed cooking up some music. And since then, we've talked about a lot of things, such as all the factors going into making this new album. Why, most likely based off of the images Paul Meany has posted, the album is not done. If the album were to release sometime soon, the earliest it would be is December, and also why the album is most likely coming out in 2024 due to logistics and music business wise. But what if I told you that the Dema lore already told us we would be getting an album in 2024, and we didn't even have to analyze all of this stuff? What if I told you that it was in one of Clancy's letters? Let's talk about that. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, hope you're having a good day today. Hope your day's going well and hope it continues to go. Welcome to a 21 Pilot Theory Spotlight. Been forever since we've done one of these. Well, speculation of the new album. Theories are arising once again, and let's go ahead and spotlight this one. This theory comes from Reddit user kitchen_sink20 and is called, am I dumb and everyone knew this? I read. Sorry if I'm late realizing this again, but here's my question. On the Dema.org website, one of Clancy's last notes, he says that he needed 9 years to realize that Dema was not his home. The first album that was directly made about the Dema storyline is Blurryface. Blurryface was released in 2015. 9 years after, when Clancy realized that Last Dema is not his home, is 2024. Maybe this is another confirmation that the album's coming out next year. Am I dumb and everyone knew this? Guys, I'm freaking out. Please tell me, does this make sense? And oh boy, a lot of people agreed with the OP because, as you see with the thumb up vote, 226. And I have seen people repost this on Twitter and Discord as well, and people are absolutely love this theory. I've seen people who massively agree with it. I've seen people who, of course, didn't realize this was a thing, and you have me who didn't realize that Blurryface is turning 9 next year, and I feel incredibly old. And of course, like any theory out there, you're going to have people who disagree with this. We'll get into some of the disagreements later. One thing I do want to note is that the OP did say one of Clancy's latest letters. However, the OP was talking about the very first Clancy letter, aka in your Clancy Journal hymnal, 98806 Moon 18. All I really need to do is take a look at the very first paragraph, the first and second to last sentence. Very first sentence. The perplexities of Dema didn't occur to me until my 9th year. Boom, we got the 9th year in there as well. Second to last sentence, it was upon my 9th year that I learned that Dema wasn't my home. This village, after all this time, was my trap. And like I said, that's all found in the very first paragraph of this journal. And like OP said, the very first album that directly could be tied with the Dema storyline is Blurryface, because after all, Blurryface, Tyler has confirmed, is actually Nico Sportbaki. He said that in the Trench era Zane Lowe interview, and has confirmed it a couple of more times here. And they're including a weird European, British post in a newspaper where he says that Clancy's bishop is Nico, and aka Blurryface, even though in the letters Clancy's bishop is Keon's. But that's besides the point. One of the very first albums that directly references Dema storyline is Blurryface. We can tie it back to there. But now, let's get into some arguments against this theory. And really, there are two arguments that I can think of. The first argument of which being, you went the wrong direction, because a lot of people took this letter, which came out in 2018 when the Dema.org website got discovered, when we got most of these Clancy journals in 2018. A lot of people took this and went backward 9 years ago to 2009, aka the year the 21 Pilots formed, the year they released the Johnny Boy EP, and of course they released Self-Titled. Most people took it as that, not necessarily going forward in time, because I don't know, no one wants to think about the future, especially 9 years into the future. And not a lot of people were looking at Blurryface, which came out in 2015, and going 9 years after that, nor going from self-titled, which self-titled not self-titled, Vessel. Vessel 9 years later would be 2022. We didn't really get anything then except for MTV Unplugged. Yeah, we got MTV Unplugged then, but we didn't get a full new album. So people went backward, not went forward. And the second argument I can think of, well, what if the Dema storyline goes back to Vessel? What if the Dema storyline goes back to self-titled? Oh, the classic debate of no one knows when the actual Dema storyline starts. We can go back and forth with this all day. We've made many videos on the channel talking about, is self-titled part of the Dema lore? Is Vessel part of the Dema lore? Oh, here's why it could be, why it couldn't be. Maybe the Dema lore starts with Blurryface, or here's arguments saying, no, it didn't start with Blurryface, but this particular song instead. And it's the argument that never ends, really. Tyler never explicitly said when the lore started. So a lot of people think Vessel's included because Vessel songs were included on the live stream experience. And a lot of people think self-titled's not included because there was no Josh Dunn. 2, they really weirdly don't acknowledge self-titled a bunch. Like, you think about how they don't acknowledge regional at best. We've been trying to get them to acknowledge regional best for years to where they started to finally do so. But for self-titled, that has just been shh. No one has noticed. We haven't been talking about that. So it's one of those arguments to where people will be against the idea that it started with Blurryface because they really want to go all the way back to self-titled. People will be for this because they don't think Vessel and self-titled are part of the lore. Those are the two main arguments I can think of. If anyone else thinks of any other things, let me know in the comment section below. Now, an argument I thought for this theory is that, weirdly, things do happen on the 9th anniversary of releases for 21 Pilots. Like, if you think about it, it's going back to self-titled. 9 years later, we get Trench. If you go to Regional Best, which was released in 2011, 9 years later was the forsaken year that was 2020. But we got Level of Concern. We got the Level of Concern ARG, 2013. You get Vessel. What happened 9 years later? 9/3/2022. We got MTV Unplugged. And of course, from Blurryface, 9 years later, we don't know yet, because that is next year. This year's been insanely quiet for the pilots, and figures that 9 years ago, it was insanely quiet then as well. And who knows, maybe my math is wrong. I'm a musician, I only know how to count to 4, sometimes 6, counting to 9 is a bit hard for me. But also, if you think about it, we have 9 bishops in Dema, we have 9 towers in Dema as well. So, if we go from Blurryface, where first mentions the bishops in doubt, something about the bishops gnawing away at their system, repeating simple phrases someone wholly insisted, you go 9 years later, boom, we do get 2024. It also goes into the thing that's divisible by 3, because every 3 years since Blurryface, we'd be getting a new 21 Pilot album. Blurryface, 3 years later, we get Trench. 3 years later, we get Clancy. 3 years later, TOP7. You'll get the next album then. And it figures that 3 releases later is a total, from Blurryface, 3 releases on. That's a total of 9 years, guys. We have a whole bunch of 9s in the Dema canon. Nico and the Niners. We get the 9th year of the perplexities of Dema. It occurred to me until my 9th year that this place is not my home, so on and so forward. Tyler likes the number 9, unlike Prince, who likes the number 7. But 9 years later, if Blurryface is year 0, then absolutely could make sense. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you think of any more theories. 21 Pilot Spotlights are fun. Absolutely love making these. I'm super tired. Oops, it's 1:30. Oopsie whoopsie. I'm gonna edit this and go to bed. Oops. See you all tomorrow for my top 10 Lovejoy songs. I'll see you all on Monday with, if I can think of another 21 Pilot thing to talk about, we will. Maybe like why evidence the music video for the next album has not been recorded yet. Anyway, we'll see you all then. Goodbye, and good night, more importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you later.